Welcome to today's Virtual Market Open, where we celebrate the latest issuer to join the Canadian Securities Exchange. Join us as we count down to the market open and stay to learn more about the latest listing on the exchange for entrepreneurs. Together, we'll count down to the market open, and this will be followed by an interview with a company executive. Congratulations on being newly listed on the CSE.
Thanks to all our viewers tuning back into another newly listed on the CSE clip. I'm Anil Mall. I represent the CSE. And today we've got something different and exciting for our viewers. I am sitting down virtually with Justin Schroenn. Justin is the CEO of Swimboarding Sports Inc. It's listed on the CSE under the ticker symbol SWIM. I know we're used to seeing companies, cannabis, mining, all sorts of tech, psychedelics, but this is something new and exciting. So Justin, I hope you're doing well.
Doing very well, Anil. I'm very, very happy to be here. Very excited. And thanks to you all for watching.
Justin, I know I've built a little bit of anticipation within our viewers. So tell us, what is Swimboard? What do you guys do?
Swimboard is a revolutionary aquatic sporting product that is going to change the way you interact with the water. It is both a board, a sport, and a brand. The board is massively patented, is unlike anything you've ever experienced, small, easy to own, easy to learn, and it will change how you and your family recreate in the water, and any water, any water you can imagine, pool, ocean, lake. The world is full of covered with water, and this board goes everywhere.
So right now, this board is not motorized. It's a physical board that user.
It is designed to completely release your natural human athleticism, how a human being behaves in the water. It is the first true swim board. The company is Swimboard. The product is a swim board. It is a swim board. Swimming on a board is much more difficult than people perhaps realized, which is why it didn't exist before. The body's twisting, torquing, and changing in all aspects. The aspect of the legs is changing constantly, the throwing of the shoulders, or just cruising around. The board fully supports you and releases the power of your core and your hips. You use dive fins, you must use dive fins. But with those two, with the dive fins and the board, Neil, the world is your oyster. You can just go and go and go. And you do not have to be a great athlete. This is a board for everybody, every body type, every level of experience. You don't, as you and I discussed, you don't even have to be a great swimmer. The board will turn you into a great swimmer, I can assure you.
So how did you and your team come about this concept and then do the R&D around it to actually have a product come to market?
Well, thanks for that. It was a bizarre road. First of all, we grew up in a surf town, Durban, South Africa, major surf town. We grew up body surfing. I was a boogie boarder. All my buddies were surfers in that whole world. Also in our family, kayaks and canoes and windsurfers. Came to Canada, came to Vancouver or Victoria originally. Not a big surf scene. Sure, you can go to Tofino, but you're going to really get out there. But flat water and the lakes, and we started to fall in love with that. We loved being in the water. I had a kayak. We used to rent sups. But what was missing was that in the waterness, and we started to realize that if there was a market for a board, a small little board, light, that anyone could own, that really empowered you in the water to go across the lake, to go along the shore of English Bay, or 1,000 places in Canada, as well as obviously the obvious places like the Caribbean and the Mediterranean, which tend to be flat, that if we did that, you would have a product that would appeal to the vast majority of people, and you'd be looking at big dollars. Then we started trying to make this thing, and it was one abject failure after the other. It just kept going on and on because it was, wow, this is really difficult. So by the time we got to the end of this road, which went on for years, we realized that we had a highly patentable product. We had actually broken the paradigm. The board is not a board at all. It's not flat. And that's the key thing. It's not flat. It's actually unstable. Consider that a tricycle is stable and a bicycle is not. Which outperforms the other? The instability of the bicycle is the key. The fact that it's able to mirror your natural athleticism. And I mention that now because the action of swimboarding is instinctively the same as swimming, cycling, skating, combined with swimming. So that rotational, powerful drop leg kick. You're wearing fins. But if you skate or you run or you walk, you'll get it like that. And that means that you're not spending a whole bunch of time doing stuff trying to learn something on the beach. You're out on the water having fun. And the most important thing is that the whole family can go. You're not leaving the kids behind the beach. Granny, grandpa, mommy, daddy, the teens, baby, down to 5 years of age are going together. And that means the market for it in terms of resorts, recreation, the general public is absolutely enormous because most people love the water. Even if they're a little bit anxious, they love it still.
Well said, Justin. You and your team must have had a blast doing the R&D to get it to this stage.
Oh, man. I can show you pictures. It was hell because you keep thinking the next one's going to work. And, we weren't expert board makers. We became pretty good. It'll take a month to make a prototype and you think we got it. We've got this. The thing will be an abject failure. Within 30 seconds, it would be like, this is not going to work. And so you had all these different varieties. If you know, the previous version had the long noses, etc. That was because we didn't want this board to ever nosedive. But as the stern of the board began to develop and the whole thing was being controlled from the hip, you don't have to hold it, right? Your hips are controlling it. So you're tilting and pivoting the board. It's all coming from your core, which I don't need to tell you. The human body, the power comes from the core, the legs, the core, the hips, the lower abs, etc. Well, this board is controlled by, you don't have to hold it, it holds you. That means you're feeling relaxed. If you look at a lot of the footage and photographs of people on the boards, you'll often see what we call it lion pose. You don't have to be doing this all the time, right? You can just be chilling. But you'll see them upright in a lion pose, almost like a sphinx. But if you look at their hands, you'll see how relaxed their hands are. They're not clinging to it like that. Their hands are... And that is a huge thing because that means that the board has actually become... They and the board, in a way, start to become one thing. It's an amazing experience. It's so funny in your lead, and you mentioned that we've got psychedelics and we've got tech. This is psychedelic and tech too. The future boards will be wired. Okay,
well, it's all interconnected because everybody loves to be active. Everybody loves activity.
Yeah.
Most people love being in the water and being one with it. And I from what I see, this is a very exciting product that's come to market. Now, talk to us a little bit about your strategy in taking it public and listing on the CSE.
Because we realized that, this is not, the key thing is it's not just a product, it's a brand. And we knew that from the get-go. We could have started selling boards years ago, but we realized that the nature of the product did not lend itself to having a mom and pop store in kits, selling boards one by one. We knew it would eclipse that. And so we realized that we would have to actually create a broader foundation, a broader machine, so to speak. We also realized that uniquely, by going public, you have both bringing in the consumer and the investor, and that you are actually creating a very broad base from which to move forward. There are boards, pre-production boards in the world, obviously in Greece and some in Hawaii, but we wanted to create that foundation before the product came out. The branding itself, the brand will ultimately constitute the boards, clothing, the kind of clothing you use on vacation, like athleisure type thing, sporting events, right? Sporting franchises, the whole exercise franchise, you can see the workout these are all, these can all be monetized. The sport itself growing, whether it be, if stand-up paddling can make it into the Olympics, if surfing can make it into the Olympics, I can assure you we can make it into the Olympics because it's the only board that can be used in a pool as well. And it's so close up. And we have things that have evolved already organically. People throwing balls around, water polo. right? It takes water polo and it brings it above the surface and gives it speed and power and athleticism. You have triathlon slash swim run. We have so much interest from that community. Blow your mind. Okay, we just received an invite to be a sponsor in the Ironman in Greece, right? The lifeguards have already used these boards in Greece for triathlons. The triathletes love it. I was one of those guys on the board. They're swimming by you because the board can get so close to the swimmer without whacking him with a paddle. So you'll actually swim alongside them. These are long distance races. These people are getting very tired. You know, the reassurance that they can just reach out there and touch the board. And you're eyeball to eyeball. That's what lifeguards like them. They can head off problems. They can come patrol around. They can see this guy's getting into trouble. He might not be yelling right now, but he's going to be a problem. You keep an eye on him because they're right up in there. They're not miles away on the beach trying to look like that. And that is of major importance. But you can see the competitive nature of the races. You see some of the stuff there, 100-meter blast, butterfly. It's the most muscular, athletic thing you ever saw, and the water is just churning up. It's going to be very popular, Neil. You know, I could go on and on. I'm sure you're probably getting tired of my voice right now, but
well,
it is.
We want to make sure that, you know, our viewers and investors, more importantly, find out about what actually Swimbird is all about. You know, what makes the board be usable, make it user friendly. Now, you did mention there are a few competitors out there that are doing something similar. There aren't any?
No, this is the irony. This is the irony that there is no one in this space. You know, in the world, and you see this a lot, and actually people on the CSE would see this a lot. There's a normalcy bias and in the world. And you ask why the public markets, because the public markets are able to upset that normalcy bias. If you get enough people out there that can access the stock, they are actually upsetting the paradigm of normalcy, because we have people who are investing who are 19 years of age. Like, they've never invested. You know how many of our shareholders are first-time investors? 1/3 at least, never invested before. Many of them, they can't afford $1,000 or $3,000, but they've done it. Why? Because they're seeing they're almost crowdfunding. That whole thing of being the founders, they are in that founding thing. There's no competition in this space. That's what's so devastating. The other board sports like SUP, stand-up paddling, okay, windsurfing, surfing, are not amenable to the general public, which is why the resorts are so interested. The resorts all have these toys, these sporting products, but no one can use them. And they're hard to store, and they're expensive, and the staff has to hold them up and down. No one uses them. These boards, they can't get them back. People love them. The kids go gaga, and the kids go gaga, and Daddy can go too. And I'm not just making this up. This is what happened. So, if you, in terms of the shareholders, the investors, understanding what's the upside here for me? Where's this going? Every single resort in the world has to have aquatic products for their customers. And every single resort that we've showed this to is like, that's a no-brainer, and we want those. Yeah. So the goal is, what happens when every resort that has a stand-up paddleboard has to have Swimbirds? And there are 472 resorts in the Bahamas alone, and on average, they're going to take about 20 Swimbirds. The math becomes ridiculous. And that's exactly what we intend to make happen starting this year.
Well, thanks for that correction, because I was under the impression that there might be others that are doing something similar. So that definitely helps, get the market share there. Justin, can you talk to us about any key team members that you might have brought on board, whether they're advisors or, on the day-to-day side, to help move this company and the Swimbird forward?
We've always been very lucky, fortunate, I should say, with people who have given us advice along the road who have great expertise. And one guy that I'd like to mention right now, aside from my brothers and I, is the guy that you see in the videos, Alex Topsoglu, and Fanya Zaklakuti, who you'll see in some of our materials as well, who actually is the other team leader in Athens. These two people had a profound impact on accelerating us in terms of exposure within Greece and coming to the team. They were enormous asset. There are other people that we've spoken to. I can't really talk about them right now, but the company is known. I can put it that way. The company is known and has had many conversations with brands that would be completely familiar to you. That's not saying anything. I'm just saying,
yeah,
we're not coming out of left field here. There are people like, okay, this is getting interesting, and that's about it. But it's definitely known. How we progress from that is your guess is as good as mine, Anil. Like, I mean, we cannot see tomorrow, but I personally am extremely optimistic that the sheer logic and appeal of the product will attract the world of brands to us to partner, to collaborate. Collaboration is the name of the game today between different companies. Collaborations of different initiatives. It's the name of the game.
Yeah.
And even our production is a collaboration OEM deal with Tahi Sport, which is owned by KJK Sport, which is owned by KJK Capital. And once you start to get into that world, these connections will start to happen.
Well, Justin, you've touched on my next question, because I was going to ask about some of the milestones. You've actually gone through what investors can expect from you and your team in the coming months. So let's just jump to this one. Where can our viewers go to watch this video, read up on your team, find out where they can purchase this and learn more about this incredible device?
Thank you very much. Well, you can go to swimboard.com, SWMBRD.com. Importantly, our websites will be going through a series of progressions. Right now, the board is not available to the consumer. The website is aimed at the investor, who is also a consumer. But our interim website is coming live like now. And then there will be a much bigger web experience that will take a while to develop. But when it's done, you will lose yourself in this. It's going to be the entire Swimbird world. Think you're in Corfu, you're in Mauritius, you're in Jamaica, you're in the Rockies. But for now, Swimboard.com, please watch the videos. The videos will say so much more than what I am able to. You'll see most people when they see the videos, like, I get it. And each one will showcase a different thing. The teaser sort of razzmatazz. How do you do it and why? How do you do it? The workout you can do in it, and the board in real life application in the Athens Riviera, on the speedboat, jumping off cliffs, exploring, playing. Watch them all. And of course, you can reach out to me or my brothers at any time. Our cell phones, direct line are on the website. Pick up the phone for me anytime. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time, not only talk to myself, but our viewers and investors about SWMBRD Sports. We did a virtual market open yesterday, earlier today, I should say. We got a chance to meet some of your team members from across the world that joined us. And I want to wish you and your team nothing but success as you move forward in this landscape, not only from myself, but from our entire team at the Canadian Securities Exchange. So thank you once again, and welcome to the CSE.
Thank you, Anil, and thanks to all of your team. I must say you've been wonderful, so hospitable. And I'm very, very thrilled to be working with you all. And I think we'll make this a real success.
Much appreciated, Justin. To our viewers, I'm Anil Mall. I represent the CSE. But more importantly, you have been listening and hearing from Mr. Justin Schroenn. He is the CEO of SWMBRD Sports Inc. on the CSE under the symbol SWIM. Thanks once again.
Thanks, everyone. See you on the water.